Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your. It is almost certain that Jonathan Kuminga will not stay with the Warriors. The ideal would be to trade him for consistent players, because Kuminga has a high value in the league and several teams want the player. And bringing in a center and a point guard will be a big help in transforming the Warriors into the new favorite of the Western Conference. Successful trade suggestion: Warriors send Jonathan Kuminga and receive Nikola Vucevic and Lonzo Ball to the Chicago Bulls. The Golden State Warriors enter the 2025 NBA offseason at a pivotal crossroads. After a season that ended with a second-round playoff exit at the hands of the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Warriors front office faces the daunting task of maximizing the final championship window for Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and new addition Jimmy Butler. The team's aging core, combined with a ballooning payroll and the need for roster upgrades, makes this summer a defining moment for the franchise's short and long-term future. Among several tough decisions, one stands out as both necessary and inevitable: the Warriors must trade Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga's tenure in Golden State has been marked by flashes of brilliance, frustrating inconsistency, and, most recently, public tension over his role. Selected 7th overall in the 2021 NBA Draft, Kuminga was envisioned as a bridge between the Warriors' dynastic past and their future. Yet, after 4 seasons, it's clear that the fit has never been seamless. The 2024-25 campaign encapsulated Kuminga's rollercoaster journey. He averaged 15.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 2.2 assists per game on 45.4% shooting from the field, demonstrating his ability to attack the rim and finish through contact. However, injuries and a crowded rotation, especially following the mid-season addition of Butler, limited his opportunities. Kuminga was benched for stretches of the playoffs, only to re-emerge with standout performances when Curry went down, including a 30-point playoff career high against Minnesota. Despite these peaks, the underlying issue persisted: Kuminga wants a featured role and starters minutes, something the Warriors have been unwilling or unable to guarantee. Why the Warriors must move on. The case for trading Kuminga is rooted in both basketball and business realities. The Warriors' roster construction has made it difficult to maximize Kuminga's talents. With Butler and Draymond Green entrenched in the forward spots, Kuminga's path to a consistent, high-usage role is blocked. Head coach Steve Kerr and GM Mike Dunleavy Jr. have praised Kuminga's growth and resilience, but both acknowledge that his return is a two-way street dependent on mutual fit and contract negotiations. Financial constraints loom large. Kuminga is set to become a restricted free agent, and league insiders expect him to command upwards of $30 million annually on his next contract. For a Warriors team already deep into the luxury tax, committing that level of money to a player whose role is uncertain would be a risky allocation of resources. Letting Kuminga walk for nothing is not an option, so a sign-and-trade becomes the logical path. The Warriors' needs have shifted. The front office has made it clear that greater positional size, especially at center, is a priority. Kuminga, while athletic and versatile, does not address this need. Trading him for a package that brings immediate help in the frontcourt or additional depth is the most sensible way to retool around Curry's remaining prime years. The ideal trade proposal. Among the rumored destinations, the Chicago Bulls stand out as an ideal trade partner. The Bulls, having moved on from Zach LaVine and seeking to build around Kobe White and Josh Giddey, are in need of a high-upside forward who can blossom in a larger role. Kuminga fits that profile perfectly, and a change of scenery could unlock his all-star potential. Warriors receive Nikola Vucevic, Lonzo Ball, 2029 top 5 protected first-round pick. Bulls receive Jonathan Kuminga via sign-and-trade. This deal addresses several needs for both teams. For the Warriors, Vucevic provides a skilled, floor-spacing center who can anchor the paint and facilitate from the high post. His passing and shooting would mesh well with Golden State's motion offense. Lonzo Ball, if healthy, gives the Warriors a versatile guard who can defend multiple positions and push the pace. The future first-round pick adds long-term flexibility and potential upside. For Chicago, Kuminga offers a dynamic, athletic forward who can grow alongside their young core. Under head coach Billy Donovan, Kuminga would have the opportunity to be a featured option, play 30-plus minutes per night, and develop into the two-way star many believe he can become. Trading Jonathan Kuminga is a difficult but necessary decision for the Warriors. His talent is undeniable, and he has shown the ability to take over games when given the chance. However, the realities of roster construction, salary cap management, and team needs make a clean break the best path forward. As the Warriors navigate this critical offseason, moving on from Kuminga is not just about parting with a promising young player. It's about making the tough choices required to maximize the final years of Stephen Curry's legendary career, maintain roster balance, and set the stage for the next chapter in franchise history. The time has come for both sides to embrace a new beginning. Joe Lacob makes monster Jonathan Kuminga statement that's too hard to ignore. While there's a distinct chance that he's already played his last game with the Golden State Warriors, Jonathan Kuminga was still a notable presence at the Golden State Valkyries home opener at Chase Center on Friday. Kuminga was one of a number of Warrior members in attendance, including head coach Steve Kerr, Brandon Podziemski, Buddy Hield, and unrestricted free agent Kevin Looney. However, it was Kuminga's seating next to owner Joe Lacob that raised eyebrows, and is certainly hard to ignore as the 22-year-old prepares to hit restricted free agency. Joe Lacob is a self-confessed big fan of Jonathan Kuminga. While it appears some within the organization are ready to move on from Kuminga, Lacob is undoubtedly a big factor in the future of the former 7th overall pick. It's been known for a long time that Lacob is a big Kuminga fan, something the man himself recently admitted in an interview with The Athletic's Anthony Slater and Marcus Thompson too after Golden State were eliminated from the playoffs by the Minnesota Timberwolves. "He's the only guy that could really guard, Anthony Edwards, out there. Did a pretty damn good job," Lacob said of Kuminga. "He had a tough situation with the DNPs from the last series, and to bounce back from that, I give him a lot of credit. I'm a big fan of his." Fans were also intrigued by an interaction between Kuminga and Milwaukee Bucks coach Doc Rivers, with the pair greeting each other with a handshake and hug on the court. While the Warriors prepare to deal with Kuminga's future, the Bucks may be about to start an even bigger and more complicated scenario with 2x MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's been reported previously that Antetokounmpo has been a dream target of Lacob's over recent years. While it's unlikely that Golden State will have enough assets to acquire Antetokounmpo if he becomes available, Warriors advised to pursue $25 million center in free agency. The Golden State Warriors need more offensive firepower if they expect to compete at the top of the Western Conference over the next couple of seasons, but a high-level scoring threat alongside Stephen Curry isn't the team's only need this offseason. Golden State's lack of size showed up against the Houston Rockets in Round 1 of the playoffs and again when squaring up with the Minnesota Timberwolves in Round 2. Both rebounding and interior defense were weaknesses for the Warriors in the playoffs, which the team is likely to look to address over the summer. Shams Charania of ESPN reported last week that Golden State will be extremely aggressive in the free agency and/or trade markets, though how much talent they can acquire is a topic for debate. Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks could be available, and his relationship with Curry could help the Warriors in trade discussions for the two-time MVP. Their 4 first-round draft picks, plus multiple second-round picks and first-round swaps along with young assets like Brandon Podziemski and Jonathan Kuminga will also play key roles in any potential deal. But if Golden State can't bag the Bucks' big man, a free agent option they might pursue is Steven Adams of the Houston Rockets. James Homer of Warriors Talk on Sunday, May 18, advised Golden State to take a hard look at Adams this offseason. A familiar face to the Golden State Warriors, Adams has been on the receiving end of plenty of Curry-issued losses throughout his playoff career, Homer wrote. However, it was rarely due to him being a detriment. While he's not a spacer and has some issues hitting his free throws, Adams is an experienced veteran who provides true center size and power that the Dubs haven't traditionally had. He profiles similarly to a more limited Andrew Bogut, a good screen setter and underrated passer who brings the right kind of toughness to a historically precision-focused Warriors team. The 6 feet 11 inches, 265-pound center is likely going to be a coveted player for a lot of contenders due to his top-tier offensive rebounding acumen, in addition to good durability prior to injury that kept him out of the entire 2023 to 2024 season. His numbers don't jump off the page, but he's the kind of player who has an impact on aspects of the game which aren't as trackable by analytics. Adams, who will play next season at 32 years old, is coming off of a 2-year contract worth $25 million total in Houston. Draymond Green makes stance on Kevin Durant's greatness clear with simple statement. Draymond Green and Kevin Durant were teammates for 3 seasons on the Golden State Warriors. They won 2 championships together in 2017 and 2018 and played in 3 straight NBA Finals. The Warriors tried to reunite with Durant in February by acquiring the 2-time Finals MVP from the Phoenix Suns, but a trade didn't happen because Durant didn't want to get traded during the middle of the season. Green and Durant got into a verbal exchange during the 2018-19 season against the Los Angeles Clippers. Durant admitted that his heated exchange with Green played a role in him leaving the Warriors for the Brooklyn Nets in the summer of 2019. Green could be petty toward Durant, but he recently praised his former teammate on the latest episode of his podcast with former NBA guard Baron Davis. He is a star, a legend, a GOAT, a champion, an Olympic gold medalist, Green said about Durant. 4 times. You can't go at KD's game, so you start talking about leadership. That's what people do. KD is KD. Point blank period. Durant took a lot of heat this season from fans and pundits since the Suns didn't even qualify for the play-in tournament despite having 3 All-Stars, Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. The Suns were a walking disaster this season, winning only 36 games. After finding out that Durant wasn't interested in getting traded, the Warriors acquired Jimmy Butler from the Miami Heat in February. Golden State made the playoffs and defeated the Houston Rockets in the first round in 7 games. However, the Warriors lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second round. Steph Curry suffered a left hamstring injury in Game 1 against the Timberwolves and missed the rest of the series. Durant and the Suns are expected to part ways this summer. It will be interesting to see if the Warriors try to trade for the future Hall of Famer again. Warriors are making an important Quinton Post realization after playoff plummet. They need another big man. Quinton Post's rookie year with the Golden State Warriors far exceeded expectations, having made a real impact from late January onwards after starting the season on a 2-way contract and in the G League with Santa Cruz. Post delivered just what the Warriors desperately needed in terms of elite shooting at the center position, but that failed to translate to the playoffs where he became increasingly unplayable as the postseason progressed. The Warriors acknowledge they can't enter next season with Quinton Post as their starting center. Post had some bright moments in the first-round series against the Houston Rockets, including a 4 of 8 3-point shooting display in Game 2, followed by a career-high 12-rebound performance in a Game 3 victory. Yet by the second-round series against the Timberwolves, Post's playing time plummeted to spot minutes at best. He didn't play more than 10 minutes in any of the 5 games, and made just 2 total threes across the course of the series. After shooting a team-high 40.8% from three-point range on 4.3 attempts per game during the regular season, Post's shooting dropped to 31.3% on 2.7 attempts during the playoffs. His overall shooting from the field fell to 33.3%, emphasizing the reliance on his three-point shooting and inability to utilize his 7-foot size to finish on the interior. Post had a real opportunity to stamp himself as Golden State's starting center of the future with strong playoff performances, but he didn't take advantage of that opportunity and evidently needs a big offseason to work on his weaknesses. There's no shame in that. Even discussing this as a rookie who was the 52nd overall pick is a testament to just how good he was. But the Warriors have also seemingly realized that they can't enter next season with Post as their starting center, and are subsequently on the search for another option according to ESPN's Shams Charania. The Warriors' center rotation will be a fascinating element heading into next season. After Post had usurped Tracy Jackson-Davis over the second half of the season, the latter made a stunning resurgence into starting the last 3 games of the playoffs. So which young big man will Golden State prioritize early next season, And what happens with 3x championship veteran Kevin Looney as an unrestricted free agent in the summer? Either way, it appears none of the current trio are the answer for the Warriors as their starting center, and Steve Kerr has already admitted he doesn't want Draymond Green to take on the arduous task as a small ball 5.